Happy birthday, everyone. Because really this is truly our birthday. Those who are disciples, it's our birthday as well in Master. His birthday is our birthday because it was the birth of our awakening in this lifetime, at least. I wanted to read a little bit from a talk that Swamiji gave, and we might have the recording of it somewhere, but we just didn't find it. So the talk is quite long, so I'm only going to read what he said at the end of his talk. And he is talking about some Bible passages about Christ as a guru. And then this goes into Yogananda ji as the guru. So he says, so Jesus went to John the Baptist, even though he had this authority already from God. For those who don't know the story, Jesus was baptized by a man named John, and so he's called John the Baptist. But John was not his guru in that lifetime. And then Swamiji goes on to say, he said, this is the way of righteousness. What is that? Righteousness means truth. This is the way that truth is brought to mankind. This is the way the teachings are transmitted. Therefore, I go to this one to receive these teachings because he is the one who is closest to that which I seek, that which I give. Then Master explained it further, and he said that John the Baptist was in fact Jesus' guru in a past life. So he went to his guru, and it's a strange thing, but sometimes it happens that the disciple becomes greater than the guru. A great mystery in that whole story, because John the Baptist in his last life was greater than Jesus and gave his greatness to Jesus, because Jesus was the one who was supposed to be the Christ to bring this message to the world. So Elijah passed his mantle on to Elisha. So Elijah was John the Baptist and Elisha was Christ. And it's one of the passages that snuck into the Bible about reincarnation because they didn't realize that this passage referred to reincarnation. So it got snuck into there, even though all the other references to reincarnation they tried to eradicate just to get that teaching out of their religion. So Elijah passed his mantle onto Elisha, and so the power became Jesus's. But Jesus was greater, and even so, because the way of the world is not to go straight to God. And this is one thing we often get confused by when we feel we don't need a guru, is we think, well, I can just go straight to God. But Swamiji is explaining why not. So let me find that. Okay, I'll start with, but Jesus was greater, and even so, because the way of the world is not to go straight to God. It's like the story of Namdev in my book, The Path, who had direct contact with Krishna, but Krishna told him to go to a guru, and he said, but why? I see you, Lord, directly. Why do I have to go to a human being? And Krishna said, this is my way. I can inspire you. I can teach you. But to give you the divine power, my way is to do it through a human instrument. So Namdev went to his guru and achieved enlightenment. Jesus went to John, and then his mission was able to begin. Such is the way of righteousness. We have to come to Master in this way of righteousness. Master has come to you through me. This is Swamiji talking. This is the way of righteousness. Master comes to people who come in contact with you, and this is the way of righteousness. It isn't that I am the guru and you are the guru, or you are the guru, and that power passes on through channels. Let's see. I'm sorry. It isn't that I am the guru or you are the guru, but that power passes on through channels. And people who come to channels rather than thinking that they can get it direct from just a written page, are going to receive much more. The power of Master is not that something was buried in Forest Lawn when he died. The power of Master was not something that was written into a book, beautiful though that book is, Autobiography of a Yogi. The power of Master is that when the disciples keep alive, is that which the disciples keep alive, that which the Master passes through us. Remember, because so often we tend to look at the person as the reality, but the person is only an instrument for that reality. Master's life, beautiful though it was, his personality, beautiful though it was, the wonderful acts of his life, the miracles, the acts of charity and compassion and humility and wisdom, and all these things that inspire us to follow in his footsteps, these are still only examples of what he was. They aren't what he was. He was that light, as St. John says of Jesus, that was born into the world. He had risen above the ego. He had risen above the thought of separateness from God. He was that light. And that light that he brought into the world is that which lights, as it says in the same passage of the Bible, every man that cometh into the world. Infinite light lights us if we would look to that light and not look to the darkness. If we would look to the power that comes from him rather than just to the person, then we will be able to receive the most. I used to see that many disciples would just sort of look at Master all the time and try to see in his expression, in his smile, in his reassuring glance, in whatever it might be, something for them, looking to him for approval. But I saw that the deeper disciples would close their eyes. Sister Gyanamata wouldn't necessarily even look at Master. She would just be quiet and feel his presence within. And Rajasi didn't look at Master that way. He was looking at Master inside. This is where the Master is. This is where the power is. We have to look within. Don't think of it as coming from outside. If it's a channel that's from outside, it's the power that's coming through the channel, not the channel that is important. Take that channel into yourself, because this is where it needs to be awakened, in your heart and in your spirit. And so, as we celebrate Master's birthday, let's celebrate it as an inner birth for ourselves, not only to think how wonderful it was that he was born and that he came and that he gave these wonderful teachings, but where did those teachings come from? And what do they mean to you and me? What they mean is that now the time has come for us to reclaim our own divinity. Master came as Christ came, that we might become like them.